Hey y'all, I thought maybe tonight we would just cook some supper. This is an easy supper. Almost hamburger steaks. That's what I call them, made out of turkey. Pretty much the only way I'm going to eat turkey, really, honestly. Seems like I cooked these for y'all before. Can't find it in my notes or in my playlist or nothing. So if y'all have seen this before, I apologize. And if you hadn't, it's a nice quick little alternative to a hamburger steak if you don't want to do the beef. We're going to have green rice. And if you can see back there on the back of my burner, I have my butter beans going. Now the first thing we're going to do is saute the onions for the green rice. We're going to use the Country Crock Light, 1 point per tablespoon. My original recipe calls for, can you guess what? I thought I had a little spoon here, maybe I don't. A stick of butter. Yes, it does. We're not using a stick of butter anymore. Those days are gone. Y'all remember that song? Those days are gone, my friend. Seems like they never end. Something. Forever and a day. Y'all remember that? I might be even saying it wrong. Listen. Y'all don't remember it because it ain't true. Okay, 4 tablespoons. We can saute it in just a dab of avocado oil or olive oil, or you can even really do it with a little bit of like chicken broth if you wanted to. But the butter does give it some flavor, even though I'm stopping at 4 because I did not want to raise the points up any. The points on this are, seems like I got them to 6 points for 1/6 of the recipe. And you're saying that's high for a side dish, but the turkey is turkey breast, so there's no points there, unless you count the points for whatever you, little bit of oil you put in the pan. Y'all know I happen to not count when I use my little bits of avocado oil. I just think it's really healthy, and I don't penalize myself for it. I know that sounds like a terrible word, but you know what I mean. If you count points, you know exactly what I mean. Okay, so this is 1 onion. So we are just going to let that soften up a little bit. Now we're going to start building. Hold on, I'm going to switch you over here. Okay, I got you all moved over. While the onions are over here cooking, we're going to start building our recipe. So the first thing you want is a can of cream of mushroom. You can use whatever you want. You just adjust your points. This happens to be the Great Value Walmart brand, 98% fat-free. And if I remember correctly, it's like 5 points for the whole can. And I think that is the same amount as the more expensive Campbell's Healthy Request. I could be wrong, but because y'all know, I look up something and I forget it. I really should make myself notes, honestly. Now, let's see. Not getting a spoon. Okay, I got my spoon. Sorry about that. Then we got a 1/2 cup of skim milk. I want to mix these together first just to get it good and blended so we don't have like any thick spots of soup. Okay, now the main, I have basmati rice. Y'all know I cook with instant rice because I can't cook rice. I can cook so many things and rice has never been one of them. I mess it up every time. I finally found me a rice cooker down at Wanda's, and this was the first day I got to use it. I got basmati because I love it, and we've not had it in so long since we've been using instant. Now, cook. This is what I want you to do. I want you to cook 1 cup of raw rice, and don't put that whole measurement in the recipe because I don't know what kind of rice you're cooking. This is 1 cup. you see it's fluffy. It made 4 cups. It should not, rice does not normally make 1 cup does not normally make 4 cups of rice. It makes like, I don't know if it makes 2, some, 1.5 maybe. I think 1.5. So we're going to add rice until this casserole looks right. But I am going to start with half of this, 2 cups, since it is so fluffy. We don't want it too dense now. But we'll be able to tell after we get everything mixed up if we need to put more in. So let's just start with that. I'm making a mess here, y'all. Let me stir my onions. About to brown them if y'all watch me make soup. Y'all know I'm subject to burn something. Now, let's stir in our rice. See, I can tell, if y'all can see how liquidy that is. I know we're going to need more, but we're going to build on this. Okay, now, we just have one, whatever, if it's 10, 12 ounces, it doesn't matter. They substituted this. I ordered one of the Walmart brands. Now this is, I've already microwaved it. This is the broccoli florets, okay? You see how big those are? That is too big for this casserole. I have my little handy dandy chopper. I don't know where I got this from. I've had it as long as I've been married. It is one of the most handiest tools I have in my kitchen. I chop lettuce with it for goop. I chop cabbage for slaw. I chop nuts. You won't believe all the stuff I chop. So whatever you chop yours with, if you put it out on a cutting board or got kitchen scissors or whatever you use, I want you to chop it down to this consistency because we need it to, let me move my onions back, y'all. We want it to blend throughout the casserole. So let's just dump this in here. Okay. Now, while the rice is just sitting on top, no, the broccoli, let's hit it with a little salt. It'll probably need a little extra for the rice. I probably should have hit the rice up before I mixed it in. So if you remember, try to do that. If you don't, just cook it in. Mix it in. Okay. Now, you see I just about burnt my onions again. So let's add the onions. And it does not matter that they're hot. Now this pan, because I hate cleaning, even though my husband, I will say, if he's not running late for work, he washes the supper dishes before he goes to work at night. So even if I'm not washing it, I don't need to purposely make a whole bunch of stuff for him to clean. Now when he cooks, oh Lord have mercy, y'all. They is dishes from here to Concord. Okay, now we're using this reduced fat Fiesta Blend cheese. 1 cup will go in the rice. Okay. I don't know, can y'all see the consistency of that? We do not want it any thicker than that. So that 2 cups of my basmati rice was perfect. If yours is a more dense, packed rice, start with maybe 1.5 cups and then add the other cup when you get to this right here. So hold on 1 second. I still have my burner on because that's what I was telling you. We're going to reuse that pan because there ain't no sense in cooking meat in a different pan when all that had in it was onions. This is a 2-quart baking dish that I have already sprayed. So we're just going to, you know what I'm going to do first? I think to make sure that I have a proper measurement when I eat it, instead of dumping it in my, messing up another thing, I'm just going to mess up a measuring cup. And we're just going to measure it like this and see how many cups it is. 2, 3. I think we're going to be at about 4 cups. So I can't do math. It's a little over 4, but I'm not going to split those hairs because that's too much. That's too much trouble. Now, if y'all will excuse my ignorance, I will find out how much is in a serving, divided this by 6. Alexa, what is 4 divided by 6?
4 divided by 6 is 0.6667.
Okay, so our serving size is going to be 2/3 of a cup. If you want a fourth of it, if you want a whole cup, eat a whole cup, but just up your points. It's going to probably go up 1 or 2. It's going to be either 7 or 8. We have a half a cup of that cheese left over that we're going to put on top. You might could add more cheese, like instead of a cup and a half, maybe if you want to do 2. I didn't calculate it because this really is enough. I just know sometimes you like things really cheesy. So now this goes into an oven at 350, and we're going to check it in 10 to 15 minutes. Everything in here is pretty hot, so it just needs to bubble up and get the cheese on top melted. I'm going to back this camera up, pop this in the oven, and we'll come and get started on that turkey. All right, now I'm using ground turkey breast. I do believe you can use 99% fat-free turkey and still be 0 points. So whichever one you want to use. Or if you want to use turkey that has points, that is also an option. I just decided, since tonight the side dish was high. You know, that's what I was telling you a while ago. Sometimes a side dish is like the most flavorful part. Chicken ain't always good, and y'all know that. Y'all know that is the truth. I'm so sick of chicken sometimes I can't stand it. But a good side dish goes a long way for a nice plate of food. So when I get through, my whole plate of food, even though it's all in the rice, the big picture is still only going to be 6 points. A 6-point supper, that's a win in my book. And I didn't have to eat chicken. Of course, I have to eat turkey, but it don't taste like it. So we good. We good. I had my pan too hot. I'm going to add just a touch more because you know there's not a lick of fat in this turkey. Not a lick. So you measure and count your oil however you want to do it. So just cut your go ahead and cut the thing all the way off because you want to be able to easily get to the turkey without breaking it, because this is very fragile and it will break on you. So you're going to take your spatula, your knife, use a spatula, and then whatever you cut, you can just use the same thing to switch it over. So you are just cutting it into 4 little rectangles. Scoop up. Turn your burner down. Be cold. So you just keep scooping. I don't think I got this cut too evenly, but since it's 0 points, it really doesn't matter. An ounce here or half an ounce there. Well, to me it don't. Now, if I was eating like 2 of these or 3 of these or something, it might be different calorie-wise. I don't think I like it. There we go. Right there. try to move that off so it's not, I'm not fighting with it. So the only thing I have is onion salt. Now, back when we first started making this, we used accent. Do y'all remember accent? We did not know for years. Now this, you know my trick I told you about putting a little piece of soda cracker in with your salts will keep it granulated. I never did on this onion salt, so it's a mess. Hold on. Accent is MSG, and MSG is terrible to make you swell, which I think in turn affects your blood pressure. So once we realized, I don't guess we had sense enough to read the little carton that comes in, but it sure makes your food taste good. It makes your food taste so good. That's why Chinese food tastes so good, because it's full of MSG, which I'm pretty sure you can ask to not have any put in there. So you're going to have a much nicer onion salt than I have, because you will have taken care of it. I guess I need to get rid of this. And so you see we put onion salt on it, and then we would have had that accent on top of that. Goodness gracious. So we're just going to let this cook. I didn't put any on the other side. When we flip it, I'm going to hit it with just a little bit more of the onion salt. I'm going to let this cook down a little bit and maybe clean up some, and I'll be back. I just want to come quickly and insert this in. When you're cooking these turkey burgers, put your lid on it. I browned one side and I popped the lid on it. Flipped them, popped the lid on it, let it start getting brown. Then I added, if you can tell, a little bit of hot water. Put hot water in there. You don't want to cool your pan down, so run your water and get it hot. And I'm going to let them steam the rest of the way, only because this is such a dry meat. And I just wanted to give you that little step. Okay, supper is done. Now, I don't remember what time I started. Obviously, the rice takes the longest. But when you got your rice going, go ahead and put your beans on. Now, them's frozen beans. They're not dry. They're not going to cook like that dry. Not no half hour. The bag says like 20 minutes, but we like ours soft. So they've probably been cooking a half hour. Whatever the clock says up there. I'm going to look when I edit, and I'm going to see like how long this like actual cooking time without counting the rice. You can make it even quicker if you had made up rice and use leftover. You can make rice and you can freeze it. Trust me, you can do it. So we've got the butter beans. We've got our Almost Hamburger Steaks. Now you can take this stuff that I don't even know what that stuff is called, but it easily just flakes right off. And then we have our green rice. This is, as you could see, it's not quite brown around the outside. This is good, so it didn't get crusty. And the cheese is nice and melted on top. So I've got my little 2/3 cup. I'm going to measure it. Doesn't sound like much, but it's plenty. I've learned that I can get by with less. Now, I snack. I sure do snack. But when I'm doling out like supper portions, it's okay. But see, that's not a bad amount right there, is it? Then we're going to get us I'll get this little whopped up one since it looks so pitiful. Then I'll get me some butter beans, which is like one of my favorite beans on the planet. So I won't mind if I got just a little bit of extra of those, because they're just good, good, good. I hit everything with some salt, and I know that's going to need it. So, so here you go. This is 6 points. I don't care if it's all right here in this little pile. The big picture is a plate of food for supper for 6 points. You can fit rice and cheese into your diet. So if you try it, let me know if you like it. When this cools off, I'm going to come back and I'm going to give you what I suspect is the truth, and that it is good. So I'll be back once this cools off. Okay, the verdict's in. It's good. The green rice is good. You don't really miss that stick of butter or that full fat cheese. You really don't. It tastes is good like it is. So that's a winner. Now, the turkey, it's good. If I'm telling you that I can eat this turkey, then if you don't like turkey, then try it. Because I'm telling you, I hate turkey. I just hate turkey. It just has a turkey taste. Y'all know what I mean. It has a turkey taste. So, it's dry. I ain't gonna lie to you about that. Because it's turkey breast. And turkey breast gonna be dry. But you put some water in there to help steam it, But just do it with me. I hit it with some ketchup. Because, ketchup. Put you some barbecue sauce or some A1 or whatever. Heinz or something. And kind of help that dryness. Now, if you want to do it like we used to do it, get the regular turkey, which is probably like 85% lean, something like that. But if you do that, you're kind of defeating the purpose of keeping your points down. And if I'm going to eat 85% turkey, I'm eating beef. Hands down, no questions asked. I'm eating my cow. At 85%, my favorite beef is 80-20. Oh, that's my favorite. Don't eat it no more, and I miss it. Y'all don't know. I miss it like a long lost cousin. So if you want to spend points on higher fat turkey, then you spend your points on higher fat turkey. I ain't judging, cause listen, y'all see my food. Y'all know what I spend my points on. It's all good. So that's what I'm just here to tell you. The verdict is it's good. It's a good supper. It's a good plate of food for 6 points. And that was all I was going to tell you. I lied to you, said I wasn't going to be back this week, but when I started cooking the supper, I thought, well, I did look. The oven was on 350, so the time was not showing. But I'm thinking I cooked for an hour. The rice had started cooking, and I just let it, go. And it seemed like I was actively cooking an hour, maybe. That seems a little bit long, but I could be right. So it's not going to be no more than an hour. So this is something you can throw together, like I said, with the exception of the rice. So I believe that'll do it. I'm going to finish eating.